This episode is brought to you by Higginbotham, your single source for insurance, wealth management, and employee benefit needs. Glamour.
Grit. Glamour.
Grit. Glamour. Grit.
Welcome to the Glamour and Grit Seaside Edition. We are on vacation, but we just could not come to you guys on this beautiful Friday, aka we pre-record. It's Thursday. And I have a red Solo cup filled of iced coffee.
Yeah, so we're a little backlit because we wanted to try to get the ocean views. Sainty wanted to record on the patio so you could actually hear the ocean, but for audio purposes and podcast purposes, I didn't think that was a smart play. Let me know if I made a mistake. But either way, use your imagination and just understand that the ocean is within feet behind us right now.
I know. I wanted to be like, shh. So you're getting sleepy, very sleepy, like white noise. Da, 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 da.
Which honestly is crazy because I'm sleepy. And I don't know if it's just being in Florida and just constantly listening to the ocean and being out in the sun. It's like you come to vacation and you're like, oh man, I'm going to rev up. I'm going to get energized. I'm going to this is going to be my refill. And really, I'm just like kind of tired the whole time, right?
It's exhausting. I am. And Mick has been a TOOT. I don't know if he doesn't feel good or something's going on, but he's just next level. So I just feel like when you take a 2 and a 4-year-old, not really Momo, obviously, but when you take a toddler or a baby out of their comfort, they just have to make it hell for you.
Some, not all.
No.
Our son he's just not an adventurer, right? So we come here and we're like gonna do things. We're gonna go down to the beach. We're gonna go to the pool. On Tuesday, we rented this boat and we went out on this boat all day with jet skis and snorkeling and
Very
the whole thing.
below deck.
And he did not want to leave the main living area. All he wanted to do was play trains the entire time. He had no interest. In fact, he even said to me 10 times, please, I want to go home. Like he's just not an adventurer. He doesn't like activities. So I think he's rebelling by being here, being in a really bad mood, putting us through the ringer to let us know that why did you ever think I would want to leave my house in Texas?
Yeah, it's wild. It's definitely wild. That's like privileged power. I'm like, you're literally at the most beautiful place in the entire world and you're throwing a fit. I don't get it. But I don't think he feels good. I really don't. Because it's like a different extreme, this trip.
Well, I mean, yeah, it is. Who knows?
Well, last week I feel like we maybe had an a-hole week. I kind of think we were assholes last week. And that's very unlike us. But everybody knows the issue with podcasts too is you put it out in the world and people have to understand too that they have to give us grace, and sometimes we're tired. Sometimes we're in a bad mood. Sometimes life happens. But I guess this is what we get if we put out a podcast is you're going to get hate is going to hate. Isn't that what it is? No. Shake it off. I love Taylor Swift.
I don't know exactly what to say. I thought last week's pod went great. However, we voiced some opinions on some things that got some backlash, and I'm just gonna say that this podcast, like we always say, is our opinions. It's what we feel, what we think, and I
know, but sometimes I feel like we get a little extreme because we are tired. It's like when you're in the mood, it's like you just have a bad day. And sometimes you just have a bad day. And that's the issue with social media and different things. It's like you put something out there sometimes when you're just in the heat of the moment and you don't necessarily mean it. It's it's so weird. What we think in our mind sometimes is not what we truly mean and believe. Do you know what I mean? But we just put it out there because that's what we do with our generation. And it's like, oh, shoot, maybe I really don't feel that way. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's more like generalizing an opinion, and then people then go and kind of take a fine-tooth comb and go through that opinion and get really specific on things. But I don't know. We ramble and we talk, and that's what this is all about, and it's about our life. And so disclaimer.
We're ramblers.
Apologies to anybody who, if we say something that somebody doesn't like, but that's kind of part of why we're doing this. I mean,
I know. What's so interesting, though, is I feel like truly, and that's where our world is at, nobody really means to hurt people.
No.
And nobody really,
but people feel so targeted. People feel so, like it's so personal when even something
But
can
it is.
be.
I take it like that, too. Like, I'm so that way, too. It's somebody, it's like, oh, that was to me. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with you. But it's hard when you're on social media and you see it so much to not take things personally.
See, I think that's like a difference between a guy and a girl.
I think so too.
There's no way in hell if I hear somebody voice an opinion about something that I would even second guess it. Because I'm like, oh, well, that's his opinion. Who gives it? Like, who cares?
Oh my God.
That's how I think.
I'm so opposite. I am like such a carer. I'm like, oh my God, that hurt my heart. That's so upset. I am very sensitive, which I really shouldn't be. I cannot believe I'm on this podcast without makeup too. And I haven't washed my hair. Who am I? Times have changed.
Times have changed.
I had to add a little sweater because it's a little chilly in here. And I feel like I've got a sports bra on. This might be a rated R podcast if, I take off this little sweater. You know what I mean?
It's very Florida. Throw the makeup away. Who cares what the hair's doing? Get rid of the bra and just kind of live your Floridian life.
Can you imagine if I just walked around braless? Shout out to the girls who can. I mean, I don't have big bubbies, so it's not like it's like one of those things. I sleep. I want to know if I sleep in a bra. I like everything lifted because my thoughts are things start to fall when you get older. So if I'm keeping everything lifted in my sleep, don't you think that helps keep them lifted?
Why are you asking me this question right now?
No, but I do want to know because it's kind of true. I feel like because I wear a bra in my sleep, it keeps everything, a little up
I mean,
top.
that makes sense to me. That makes sense.
Do you know what I do need is a little tape on the side? Because I'm starting to get, what do they call it? Like the puppet? Like, not Pikachu. What's the puppet's name? Pinocchio. You know how it's like, I'm getting these little jowls, like hop over top.
Wait, what? I'm so lost. I have no idea what you're talking
The
about.
little jowls, like the lines right here. It looks like a puppet.
Oh.
Somebody commented.
Wait, what about it?
I'm starting to get them. That means I'm getting older. I wish there was like tape that I could like tape it back, just like the boobs at night.
I'm sorry to inform you, but you're going to be getting a lot more than that.
I know, it's so true. Somebody said that they wrote on
life.
the podcast that I'm annoying, but they like you. Touche. I agree.
Oh, well, I'll take it.
I'm like, no, it's interesting because the more the podcast gets rolling, the more viewership, the more hate you get. Really, you don't get as much hate. People just don't like me.
But I don't care, which is the sad part is I should be the one getting the hate because it doesn't bother me.
I know.
If you read something that's not nice or something, like it actually affects you. And I would never, like it wouldn't even cross my mind to give it 1 second of a thought because it's not worth the stress.
I know. It's so true. I don't mean to. I even try to take things out of my mind. And I think I remember every single time in my entire life that I've accidentally hurt somebody. Every single time in my entire life, I could list them to you right now. That's how much I like take things so sensitively.
Or you just can't let things go.
Yeah, or that.
Like if
you
you remember all of them, like you can't let it go.
Just because I'm the type I would never, I've said this before, never.
But if somebody hurts you, you can't let that go either. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like your
so.
thing. You just like, what do you call it? Harvest it and just always remember. But I feel like it's a lot less anxiety. There's a lot less anxiety in just releasing, you know?
I agree. I mean, I feel like I need to do that. What is it? Ayahuasca?
I don't know. Is that what they say it releases demons?
I don't know. But I don't want things coming out the front end and the back end. Nothing sounds worse. Actually, it'd be like we actually should. So we're friends of this. Please follow her, Taylor Duke. She's amazing. She's a wellness guru, unbelievable person. We're just obsessed with her and her husband. And they do coffee enemas.
What does that mean?
You stick coffee up your ass.
Wait a minute. Is that for like the ultimate like caffeine kick?
No, I think it's actually supposed to release things. I don't know. I really think coffee enemas are supposed to like clear everything out. Because you know how some people.
Wait.
I swear.
Isn't that where it kind of clears out? Like if you haven't gone number 2 in a long time, it like clears it out.
Yes, a lot of people
So now they're doing it with coffee?
Yeah.
So you're going to be hyper while they're clearing it out.
Yeah, you're going to be like, whoo.
No, for real.
I don't think it's hyper. Look, Google it. I think it just releases, I guess coffee beans hold on to bad things, I think.
Well, I know if you drink a cup of coffee, like you're going to go. It's like a laxative.
You know what? It doesn't work for me anymore. That's when I know I drink too much coffee because it just doesn't.
But they're going to put it up your booty and that helps clear it out faster or what?
Actually, do you know what we should do on this podcast? Is record, because you're facing the other way. People won't see it. We should do an Enema podcast.
I'm going to just say hard no. I'm going to say hard pass, hard no. And that viewer that thought you were crazy online might start rambling.
They didn't think I was crazy. That was annoying. No, actually, that would be so funny.
No.
I've never had
different podcast.
I've never had an enema. Have you?
Definitely not, and definitely won't be doing a coffee one. Although, shout out to the new technique, and I'm sure it is amazing. But to the innocent bystander who's never heard of such a thing, it is a little far fetched for my thinking right now. But I need to hear more. I need to get the breakdown of how this works, because in my head I just imagine somebody bouncing off the walls as shit's flying everywhere. I'm sorry. But please paint me a better picture than that, because that's what's running in my head right now.
Wait, now you have to get one. What's that thing where you go under and they check your colon or something like that?
Colonoscopy?
Yeah, that's what I need to get next too.
I mean, that's I've gotten one.
I know.
But I have colon cancer in my family.
I know, but reminder, everybody. Actually, I think the last time I was on the podcast, did I say that I had gotten the moles removed? Everything came back good. The left side had some cells that weren't pretty, but no further testing needs to be done. So everybody, I'm staying in the shade this trip. As we know, I wear my visor. But protect your skin, protect your colon, do the best you can.
Now, do all girls or women do this where, Sainty, although you're like high energy, like, all the time. So it's like you send texts like your energy is. Like you'll send 10 texts to get across one sentence as opposed to putting it in one text with multiple sentences.
Yeah, like I do. Hi, next text. How are you? Next text. What are you doing tonight?
And it's
next
like
text.
when
Love
you're in a thing and you realize your phone's on volume, it's like bling, 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 bling. I'm like, oh, I know who that is. That's only my wife is the person that texts like that. Oh, I don't know what happened. Our little thing stopped. But so she sends like 100 things at once. Yeah, like different texts as opposed to one text with all the information. Does anybody text you like that?
Yes, Raya. I think it's best friends. I think there's two types of texters. There's the bam, bam, bammers, and they're the ones that do like long. And now they're the voice texters. And y'all, voice texters, I am guilty of this. We have got to keep it under a minute. But thank God for voice texting where you can just read it, because I don't even listen to them, even though I send them all the time. I just read them.
But that's great. That's great. Voice text, awesome, because I can listen to it when I want to. My phone's not vibrating for 5 minutes because there's been 15 texts sent back to 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 back. It's like one thought and then a different thought and then another thought and then
But that's how my mind works. I'm so ADD. Like I'm always like bam, 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 bam.
Right. And I'm wondering if that's it. Okay, so you said ADD. So is that like an ADD thing? Is that like if you're a hyperactive person, that's how all of you guys text? Or is it like a girl versus a boy thing?
Do you have any guys that text like that?
Absolutely not.
So it could be a girl versus a guy thing.
But I don't have any other girls that text like that.
Maybe it's just a me thing.
But that's why I'm asking you, do you have girlfriends that text that way to you all the time? Just one?
I think I have a few that text like that. But a lot of people know that's the way I text. Like they know it's me that's texting.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to look down. You hear the noises and
Yeah,
you're just
you know
like,
it's
oh, there's
me.
27. Yep, that's Sainty. And all she had to do was say probably 3 things in 27 texts.
I don't mean to. It's just who I am.
No, I think it's great because I always know it's you without ever having to look at my phone. I just sometimes wish I'd had it on silent because it can be distracting. However, I was just more curious to know if that was a thing, if other people did that or if it's probably literally just you.
It's probably a Sainty thing.
Yeah.
That's like story. Did we tell the viewers that I launched a jewelry collab? And y'all, it like literally sold out. It's doing so good. It's amazing. It's back ordered. It's a brand called Allie Bess, which is female owned, small business. They're out of Dallas. And I launched a jewelry collab. My first big collab.
This is
First big collab that has come out. There.
And it did good. It did really good.
It's so exciting. I will tell you, there is nothing like, no offense to you guys, female-owned businesses. They are kicking ass right now. They're kicking ass and taking names.
Where's Allie Bess from?
Dallas. You know it's 2 different girls. It's Allie and Bess.
But the company's called Allie Bess.
Allie +, Bess.
Allie and Bess.
Yeah. Does the + mean and?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. You'd think it'd be like Allie plus Bess.
I mean, technically it's a plus, but if you see like...
Hey, you've got to stop moving your chairs.
If you see like... if I see it and it's 2 names, I'm like, well, it's an and.
Yeah.
Just a fancy and. It's
Well,
not an ampersand, but it's a plus. I don't know.
Well, it's like Eric plus Sainty equals love.
Equals coffee and enema. Anyway.
Equals exhaustion, equals everything else.
Anyway, I am interested to know how other people's kids react on vacation, when they're out of their comfort zone, when they're kind of not in their routine, not in their normal day-to-day. We're here by ourselves. We're with your parents, but we don't have any other family here with us like we normally would, and cousins and all that. So I just wonder kind of, how that affects kids on vacation.
Well, and it stinks because I feel like this is when I read too deep into things. Like it makes me feel like a bad parent when one of my kids is acting up, and it just sucks. Like this has ruined my trip because it's like Mick is being naughty, and it like I feel like it is a reflection of me, which stinks. It like
What, you think your 2-year-old's fits are a reflection of you?
yes, because I shouldn't feel that way, obviously, because it's a freaking 2-year-old, but it's just how I feel.
Oh.
I know. Deep shit.
Is that why you're so upset? Like, not like in the best of moods? Like,
Yes, because it's just exhausting. It's like annoying. I wanted to come on this vacation and like have the best time. We've had the best couple weeks. And it's just not fun when your child is not behaving good. It just sucks.
that sucks, and it's annoying, and we're like figuring out ways to try to
Especially
combat
because
it.
Mick is
But
like,
it's not a reflection on you.
but then he gets like extra attached to me, and it makes me look like a weenie parent when I'm like, do you think I want this? Do you think I want him to be attached to me the
But a
whole
weenie
entire
parent
trip?
to who? It's me and your parents here. Like,
I know.
Who are you trying to like convince that you're a great parent? Because we all know who you are.
I know, but it just stinks. It's
Like
been-
your parents see our kids every day.
I know, but I'm about to cry. It just stinks. It really does ruin it for me because I want to have fun. And so when all parents have told me this, like you're only as happy as your saddest child, as your happiest child or saddest child.
No, you're only as happy as your
Saddest child.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. It just stinks. It like takes everything out of me. Because
I get
it's like
that.
I
I
can't
get
even
that.
have fun. Then I can't be with Molly Morgan the way I want to be with Molly Morgan because Mick is so needy of me right now. And it like that breaks my heart because I want to be with her.
Yes, but you can't, like, I understand that. And that is 100% a fact of life. You are only as happy as your saddest child from the day they're born to the day you leave this earth. I've heard that from every single parent. Being a parent of 2, I now understand exactly what that means. However, you cannot blame yourself for their discomfort and them being, you know what I mean? Like, He's got his own things that he desires and wants to happen, and it's not happening right now. He's not in his routine, and I get that. We have to be patient with him, but it's not a reflection of what kind of parent you are if they're upset or they're constantly, he's just, he might even be getting a little sick right now. Who knows? But it's like none of us are like, wow, Sainty is really not a great parent because she's blah, 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 blah. Or because Mick is like, nobody thinks that way.
But it's hard. I think a lot of people think that way with especially girls because you just feel like your kids are a direct reflection of you. So when they're not,
but you're around your husband and your parents who know you better than anyone on this earth. Nobody's judging anything.
Which I feel like makes it harder. Like if it's other people, I don't care because I'm never going to see them again. But it's when it's the people I'm with all the time, it just stinks. Like it's just been a hard trip. It sounds so stupid and so silly because.
But hearing it out loud now, are you like, oh yeah, that is a little like I don't need to feel like my husband and my parents are going to judge me for my son being upset. Because nobody has ever made you feel that way.
No, but it's just like in my heart. It just makes me sad. It just is hard. And it like with Molly Morgan, that's the part that's like super hard for me because it's like I want to be there having fun with her. And then she's upset because Mick's upset. I don't know. It's just hard. It's just a lot.
Yeah. But don't beat yourself up over it. It's like, we're going to get through this together and it is a week of our life that Mick's just maybe going to be uncomfortable and want to go home. And then we know he's a homebody. He's a homebody.
Yeah. But what stinks is like, we really needed this vacation. We've been going at like both ends.
I agree. But I'm also thinking like, okay, he's 2. When he's 4, maybe we'll be able to enjoy some vacations.
I know.
Maybe it's just he's a 2-year-old who is out of his comfort. That's hard for anybody. So I know a lot of adults that are miserable out of their comfort zone, let alone a 2-year-old. So I'm sad for you that you're not able to enjoy it in the way that you should be enjoying it. But it's also like okay, it's a reminder. We've got a 2-year-old who's acting like a 2-year-old that. Eventually, we'll outgrow this and we'll be able to sit and talk to him like a human, like we can with our 4-year-old, and he'll be able to enjoy these moments a little more. But it might just be a little extra time before that happens, which is unfortunate. But in the scheme of life, it's just a second in the bucket versus the lifetime of fun we're going to have on future vacations and stuff.
I know. I feel like I just need to bulk up. I feel like it was a rough week. With the podcast, it comes like this testament of learning and growing and what we say and what we don't say. And then you just get backlash of things. And I feel like the more we're putting ourselves out there, the more opinions we're speaking, the more opinions we're getting back. And so it's just a learning curve. I think Claudia, and Ben talked about this a lot. It's like you can't take what people say about you to heart. But I think it's newer to me because nobody intentionally tries to hurt people or say things. And it just is a lot. I feel like I'm burning myself at both ends. I feel like when you're trying, I'm letting a lot of people down. I've kind of spread myself too thin, I think. And I feel like now I'm letting people down. And that's just, I need to like reset. And I thought this trip was maybe going to be a reset for me. And if anything, it's been like 100 times harder. Like I just am exhausted. And it's just hard. I think everybody feels this way. It's like you're just learning. Parenting is exhausting. Adulting is exhausting.
Every parent and adult listening to this right now is like, preach. We understand you. We've been there. We all have felt this exact same way because this is just how it goes.
I know.
But there is some stuff that can be figured out in terms of the spreading yourself thin, just kind of selecting and being more selective on what you're.
I wish I just had I feel like every parent feels this. I wish I had 100 hands and like 100 me.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like friends, businesses, I'm not giving them enough. It's like I'm in it when I'm in a business meeting, I'm in it. But then the moment I leave, I like forget. And then I come back and I'm like, oh shoot, I should have done that. And I'm not. Like the really, really important priority stuff I am putting ahead, but things that I usually would be on the top of my list, I'm putting more behind. And that's very unlike me. But I'm just,
That just means you've got to be more selective on what's making that list.
I know.
You've got to just kind of weed out the weeds and focus on the
But
plants.
nothing's like weeds. That's the issue. It's so all things are equally as important to me, but some things are a priority at this moment. And I just need to put those ahead. I'm just spreading myself too thin. And I really did. I think that's the part that's super hard for me this trip is I really thought this vacation was going to be like such a great reset. And if anything, I feel like I'm like 100 times more stressed and exhausted. Like I am exhausted.
Yeah. Well, the good news is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've got 3 more nights. You know, things could turn around for Mick, but odds are they maybe won't.
Yeah.
And we you know, you just, I mean, what are we gonna do?
Nothing.
What are we gonna do? But it is solution based, so it's like, all right, we got to just figure out what the solution is. Figure out, you know, getting yourself some me time when we're back home, or figuring out some sort of way to take a couple things off your calendar that maybe are on there that you just don't have to say yes to everything, and like just figuring out what it is, because there's always a solution. There's always a way to get back to, you know, what makes you happiest. So it's just figuring out what that is, instead of just going and hoping it'll just all work out. It's like, oh, take a second. This isn't working. Why and what is it that's blocking me? How do I get past it? And it's okay, whatever that answer is.
Yeah.
It's okay. If you've got to do some stuff for you sometimes. And even when I look at your dad, who's like the most successful businessman I know, the most successful husband I know, the most successful parent I know, the most successful human being in life, his tank is always full, it seems. But there are times when I see like he even has to prioritize, you know, what it is that's going to make his life work. Right?
Yeah.
He could say yes to everything, which it seems like he does, but yet he does have to know, okay, will this accelerate my, you know, will this work out for this? And there are a lot of times that it doesn't. And he, you know, even at his level of, which seems like I find myself complaining about how busy I am. And then I look at him and I'm like, my God, I can never complain.
Yeah.
But yet he's figured out what works for him, and everybody's different. So it's like, you know, just really compartmentalizing what it is that makes you wake up happy.
Yeah.
Gets you going. You know what I mean? What is it that's making you want to succeed at something, instead of being like, oh my God, I have a piece of all of this, but yet I'm not able to really shine on who I am on it because there's so much.
Yeah.
And it's okay not to. But it's a learning curve.
Yeah, definitely. And I think all would be different if Mick was, like what you said, you're only as happy as your saddest child. It's just
but we're gonna get through it, because we have each other, and we have an amazing family.
Wait,
and
did you
life
tell
is
everybody?
good.
Because we have said that where we are, and everybody has read. Have you gotten a zillion texts about the shark attack?
Oh yeah, so we're in Seaside, Florida. We're in the Panhandle of Florida. We're on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and there have been 3 shark attacks on people the day before we got here, and then one while we were here. And everybody's been texting us like, hey, watch out for the waters. There's sharks happening. Well, there are, and we've seen them. And the reason for this is because there are orcas in the Gulf of Mexico right now, and they are pushing the sharks inland because sharks are scared of orcas. And then they come in, and then they're trapped. They're too close to shore. They freak out. They start biting humans. So it is scary.
It's so, and this teenager that was attacked, her name is Lulu. She's going to be an inspirational speaker one day. She has the best attitude, the most positive person, literally the world's worst circumstance. Like, who says that they're attacked by a shark? I mean, that's just, who does that happen to?
No, and everyone's in the water. Like, actually, not everybody. A lot less people are in it, but they are still in there, but they're very, very cautious. Everybody's looking towards the horizon. They are not going deep at all.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad because these beaches, unlike the beaches I grew up in Southeast Florida, Northwest Florida, it's like white sand. There's absolutely no shells, no rocks, nothing.
So gorgeous.
The water is crystal clear. You can see for a very long distance. And so it makes you feel a little safer knowing that you can see through the water for so long. But that's the same water that people got attacked in. So yeah, we're just proceeding with caution, and so far okay.
Yes.
But It is really, really
But
concerning.
if you can, find the caring bridge for this teenager named Lulu, because she's going to change the world one day.
What's a caring bridge?
A caring bridge? You've never heard of that?
No.
It's like a website where,
Like a GoFundMe?
yeah, but it's for like people with like medical things, and people donate money.
Wow. I love the name.
I know. And you write like updates. A lot of times families will write updates of what's going on. But there's a caring bridge for Lulu.
Oh, I love that. Go look up her caring bridge and please support. The family needs it. Should we dive into a couple like just quirky things going on this week in the world?
Yes, I
Flip
need
the
some
switch.
quirky.
Let's flip the switch a little bit. Well, this one's not really quirky and it's a little upsetting to some people, but it's not upsetting to others. My girl Caitlin Clark. I got to bring her back up. Basketball phenom from college is not doing that great in the WNBA yet. It's a little physical of a league for her, I think. She's been pushed around a lot. She did not make the U.S. Olympic team.
That's right. But she's still so young. She's a rookie.
She has so much time. But the face of the WNBA, of women's basketball as a whole, the person that put it on the map, the person that has brought more income to the sport than any other player in a very long time, didn't make the U.S. Olympics. So a lot of people it's very controversial right now.
But don't you think people just have bad years? Like, didn't Tiger Woods have like a year where he just was bad at golf?
Listen, she's adjusting to the WNBA. I totally get it. I totally get why, as a talent perspective, in her first season in the WNBA, has not been a shining star as to like, instantly, that girl needs to be on the Olympic team. However, as a whole, for the Basketball Association and what she has brought to the sport, and for the finance stream that it would pull in for her being on the squad, there's a lot of big perks that by just her presence being there would have brought to it. And so people are saying it's a real missed opportunity for the team.
But also it's not fair. Like if she didn't earn that spot this time, she shouldn't be there. That's just not fair.
I agree. It's typically the top players. However, there is a lot of politics that also go into players getting on the team.
I agree, but maybe she does, like goes there and does, what is that called? Like where you talk about them.
I don't think she's going to go anywhere near them because she wasn't invited. And she's perfectly okay with that. She's like, this is a dream. It's something to aspire to.
Yeah.
I hope one day to get there. And she will. It's just, it's rubbing some people the wrong way. And I understand both sides.
But is this her first time? This was college, and now she's in the big leagues, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's just how it works. There's 1,000 college players that are the tops in their college, and they go to the NFL, and they're not the best.
Agreed.
That just happened.
But like, Wilson's made her the face. Like everyone has jumped on this bandwagon like it was MJ coming out of North Carolina. Like if this was the new Michael Jordan who changed the face of basketball.
That's why we can't do that, because we put too much pressure on these people.
I agree.
And it's what is she, 22?
Something like that.
Jesus Christ. Like, give the girl a break. I think that's too much pressure. It takes some time to adjusting. I had a brother that was in college football, and it's just very different going from the NFL. I think the NFL, you're playing more for a marathon, where college football, I feel like, is a sprint, because you're all like, we're a marathon in the sense of like, you're taking your time. You're not doing things so you don't get hurt. As bad as like college football, you're just blowing and going.
Yeah.
And it's just very different. Give her time. I don't think if she didn't earn the spot on the Olympics, it's just not her season. That's just how it works.
I'm with you. It's unfortunate that the Olympics only happen every 4 years or whatever, because it's going to be a while before.
Well, she'll be 26 instead of 22. Even better.
I know. I'm just saying that's where the world's divided right now on Caitlin Clark. But guess what else? This is crazy. Y'all, do you know who Joey Chestnut is, Sainty?
No, but I love his name.
Joey the Jaw Chestnut.
Chestnuts? I've got jaws too.
Listen, Joey the Jaw Chestnut. It doesn't ring a bell in any way?
No, is he a wrestler?
No. He's to the hot dog he is. He's a mouth wrestler of the hot dog.
Stop.
Oh, yes.
Did he choke?
No. Joey the Chestnut is the world's champion Nathan hot dog eating contest guy. This guy has won 16 championship hot dog eating contests. He's got the Guinness World Record. Nobody has ever beat his time. When he's in it, there's not even a close second.
Yeah.
He's eaten 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. This man, and he's not even fat. Like, you think these guys are these
No,
big-
he's like a you, I bet.
Oh, babe, he is Nathan's hot dog eating contest. The controversy for the first year in 16 championships, he's not allowed. He's banned.
Why?
From the Nathan hot dog eating contest because he signed a deal with a plant-based hot dog company.
Oh, God almighty.
Can you believe this? Mr. Nathan's hot dog, the guy that the Michael Jordan, the Caitlin Clark of hot dog eating contest is not allowed to participate this year because he has signed a deal that must be so lucrative to get him away from eating real hot dogs to eat plant-based hot dogs. So it's a no.
Hey, good for him, though. He's taking the money, honey.
I'm thinking.
How many hot dogs can you eat and
But
not?
it was blindsiding to him. He didn't think that would be a stipulation when he signed the deal. He is like dumbfounded right now.
I would be too. That doesn't seem, well, I guess that's kind of a oxymoron. Like you sign with a plant-based, but then you're doing all these competitions that aren't plant-based.
And promoting Nathan's all beef hot dogs.
Yeah, so sorry. He kind of, chestnuts aren't roasting in his.
No, the chestnuts have been retired by the fireplace with his nice collard green hot dogs or whatever the heck they pump
Well,
those.
and it's kind of late in the game.
fake-
Like everybody's been doing plant-based. Like it's not like any new thing.
No, it's not a new thing. It's just, it's big news in the hot
In the
dog
hot dog
eating
eating,
world.
yeah.
And every other guy's like, yes, this is my chance. I can finally get victorious because nobody comes close to this guy.
Yeah, he maybe should have asked Nathan.
Nathan, where are you, Nathan?
Is Nathan like the biggest hot dog company? Is that the one that has like the...
yes. Oh, yes.
See, why don't they sponsor him though? That's so weird that like he wouldn't be the face of hot dogs.
I don't know.
I can
don't know.
understand why they're a little upset, but we don't know the full story. Like maybe he went to Nathan and was like, hey, would you guys offer me a deal? And they were like, no. So he went plant-based.
Well, he's brought so much money to Nathan's. They're probably like, we've gotten every penny we could get from you.
Yeah, they don't need it because they're in baseball fields and all that, right?
Right.
What's the other hot dog company?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
Frank's?
really. I
Maybe?
don't know.
Or that's just what a hot dog's called, a Frank.
Oscar Mayer.
Oscar Mayer, that's it.
Yeah.
Oscar Mayer wiener.
The big wiener. Okay, get this. Another billionaire wants to go in a submersible and dive to the Titanic because the first batch of billionaires who went down and imploded on Ocean Gate's Titan submersible wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So Larry Connor, another billionaire, is like, oh, I know that first one tried and they imploded, but I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it better because I want to prove that underwater exploration is safe and it's not to be frightened. And another billionaire is risking his life in a tiny submersible just to go look at the Titanic. How do we feel?
Wait, haven't people already been down to the Titanic? Like actual people in submarines?
Yes.
So why is it like these billionaires are trying to compete? It's already been done.
Because they're doing it like their own
Independently?
company. Yeah.
I mean,
To be like, I'm the guy that can do it independently.
I'd rather just watch the documentary.
And I'm hoping the documentary is not going to end like the first one did because it wasn't pretty.
And why, if we are these billionaires, why are we doing a submarine with a remote control, like a Game Boy remote control?
I know. It's just not.
You have more money than God.
None of it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
None of it makes sense. And I hate to think this way, but history showed us that it's not a good idea to do this. And Lord knows, just because you have a lot of money, the thing's not going to be, things happen. And we tried it once with the Ocean Gate, and I just have a bad feeling that it could happen again.
And
let's not try to go down that
Same
many
path.
miles under the ocean in a tiny little submersible that's not done by NASA
And why don't we just
or
let
the ocean version of NASA.
Why don't we let Titanic just be?
Just let them be.
Let it, like, that was a tragic accident. Like, just let them at peace down there.
Why do we need to go look at it in a small window in pure blackness?
Yeah, you can't even see. That's the part that's so weird to me.
I don't get it.
Do you know?
These people are, he's so rich. He's succeeded so much in his life. He thinks he's invincible. He's like, I can do this. I'll be the guy.
Just like solve world hunger or something.
Oh man,
Like,
it makes
you've
me
got
so
too much time on your hands.
It makes me sad because it's not going to end well.
Or why don't you put like money towards schools, like for like aqua research?
And if it does end well, Great. You did it. Now, you know what I mean?
now what?
What is the big hurrah
Agreed.
about that? Okay, but here's another exciting thing. Did you hear this? Disney World just greenlit its 5th theme park in South Florida. Disney's putting $17 billion into their 5th theme park down in South Florida, Orlando, and it's going to be huge.
But what's the theme?
We don't know. It just got approved. They've been fighting for this for the last couple of years. Finally, DeSantis approved it, and they're moving forward. And just to put into perspective, Disney theme parks generated $32.5 billion in revenue in 2023 alone. This is costing them $17 billion. So it's a drop in the bucket in terms of their revenue.
Yeah, just is nothing.
But it's an insanely large number. But it's a go. It's greenlit. This just proves to the world that Disney Orlando is by far the top Disney on the planet.
Well, of course. I mean,
know,
there's no doubt. I do want to do...
Well, they've got Tokyo, they've got Paris.
Yeah, but I hear Tokyo is insane. I would love to do Tokyo one day.
Oh, I would love to. But this is huge.
I cannot... Well, not as big as we're getting a Universal Studios in Frisco, right? In at Universal?
We saw some rumblings about that a couple years ago, but I've heard nothing since, so I'm a little nervous.
No, it was last year. They have to build it. And they got approved.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to take 10 years, I bet.
Yeah. That was a thing. It was Universal was coming to Frisco, Texas, which is crazy.
And we also did I think it was $163 million deal. No, $650 million deal for the stockyards. Which is the stockyards are I always say it's like at a theme park in Fort Worth, because in the sense it's you go back in time to this old school Fort Worth, and we still have cattle on the. It's epic. If you Google Fort Worth Stockyard, God, I'm tired. Stockyard, and they're doing a hotel and everything. They just got approved this humongous money towards our stockyards.
Awesome. Love it. Guys, NBA Finals, it's sad. It's so great we made it, but the destiny's over. Yeah. We're 0-3 against the Boston Celtics. Never once in the history of NBA has a team come back from 0-3 and won the series in the playoffs or in the championship. It never, ever,
We're just not looking like ourselves either. We're not playing like us.
Boston's strong. Boston's amazing. They've got elite players. It's one of those things. But what a we've made it. But gosh, I'm so competitive. I just hate to lose.
So how are the Stars doing?
Technically, it can happen.
Yeah.
We have a chance to win 4 games in a row, but it has never, ever happened in the history of basketball. And the way we're playing, we're okay. It's not in the cards.
Yeah.
It's not in the cards.
How are the Stars doing?
Stanley Cup is not our game. We didn't make it.
We were so close this whole year, and
we were one game. Yeah, we were 1 game away.
Just like the Mavs, so close yet so far.
But they made it. We didn't make it to the Stanley Cup.
Oh, this is the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but my OG team, the Florida Panthers, are in it, and they are up 2-0, and it's incredible. And I hope they win because they've never won a Stanley Cup ever.
Okay, that will be so cool. Is that the hockey jersey that you have?
Yep.
Aren't those the Panthers?
Yep.
Oh, you take a picture in it. I think I have a picture of you in your Panther jersey.
Yeah, I grew up watching Pavel Bure on the Panthers, and I have a Jaromir Jagr Panther jersey. So, I moved to Dallas, Fort Worth, so I've become really ingrained in their sports and culture because that's the teams my kids are going to grow up loving their whole life. But I'm an OG Miami Heat. I'm an OG Florida Panthers. So it is making me very happy. I would have loved it to be Stars versus Panthers. But the fact the Panthers are in there and really are looking like they're going to sweep this series, they're on fire. It's phenomenal for South Florida sports. It's phenomenal. Of course, South Florida is the ice hockey team that's going to win it all. It's just kind of ironic as a whole. But it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. My cousin Michael went to 2 of the games already. I'm just so jealous. It's amazing.
Well,
what else? That's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, we got to talk. We got to talk glamour. We got to talk grit. Although I think we've made it very clear what that already is.
I know. Sorry, guys. I really thought it was going to be super silly and funny this podcast, but I just wasn't in a silly, funny mood.
It's okay. We picked up some energy halfway through, and we finished strong. And we're gonna get through this. And every other parent out there is like, I relate. So you're not alone.
Well, and speaking of relating, I think our celebrity guests on Monday, I think it's a solo podcast with me and 3 of my best friends.
It is. And it's our last celebrity guest episode
of this season.
The season.
Do you guys want us to come back? Are you feeling the glamour and grit? We'll definitely, obviously be back. But it might be just Eric and I until the fall, if that's okay.
Anyway, guys.
What's your glamour? What's your grit?
I think we kind of already covered it.
What's your glamour?
My glamour is I start, my glamour today is being here with my family, enjoying this time together on this beautiful beach in this beautiful town. Everybody's healthy, and that's important.
Yeah.
And my grit, which is also my glamour, is I'm leaving on the 27th to go shoot a movie in Arkansas for a month. Another Western, back to the Western roots, which I am so excited about. But it's also adjusting to
Leaving me again.
to leave him.
Yes.
And adjusting to the lack of sleep that's going to happen for that month, because on every off day I have, I fly home and I see my family no matter what. Every single week you get 2 days off in a row. So I'll wrap really late one night. I'll get on a red eye or crack of dawn the next day.
Yeah, but we will be here, so you might not be going unless you're flying here.
Unless my family tells me not to come, I come.
Yeah.
And sleep goes out the window, and it's just all it's just in what do you call it? Cruise control.
Yeah.
You don't think about it, you just go. And that's how we do it.
My grit, we already know my grit, and my glamour is the part 2 of Bridgerton has come out. Yay. So we're
So excited.
Can't
Never
wait.
watched it a day in my life, but I know the girls freak
So
for
good.
it. I know the girls freak for it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you Monday.
Glamour.
grit. Glamour.
Grit.